Stella Dredafilou presents Periklis the Unruly Ant. Perry goes on vacation. In a city not too far away, on the outskirts of a busy street, there lived a small and sweet ant named Periklis. His friends playfully called him Perry. Once he carried a single grain of pepper all by himself to take back to the nest. Proud of his achievement, he hid from the others to enjoy the first bite. He dashed outside running and shouting, "Help! I'm burning!" The other ants, who didn't know exactly what had happened, began pouring water on him because they thought he was on fire. It took him 3 whole days to recover from the shock and the burning sensation. For another 3 days, his mother scolded him, telling him that he could have avoided all of this if he hadn't failed the lesson about spicy foods. Since then, whenever someone saw him on the street, they would ask him, "Perry, do you want some pepper?" What bothered Periklis the most was not the incident with the pepper, but the fact that they had shortened his name. Pridefully, he would say to everyone, "If you don't try, you can't know how much it burns." He was very annoyed at being called Perry. It was derogatory and made him feel small, even though he wasn't small at all. He was just bold and courageous. In this way, he decided to leave and go to the seaside for a vacation, to relax a bit and unwind. However, he had also failed the lesson about the sea, and he had no idea what it looked like or where it was. He had only heard that it was a place with water, and everyone usually went there for their vacations. Well, the others, not ants, who had to work all summer. However, he had no intention of staying put this year to gather seeds. The mishap with the pepper was enough for him, and he didn't want something similar to happen again. After all, he had a mission: to have a perfect time. Then his mind worked quickly. He thought that his friend Litsa, a plump, wise, elderly fly who frequented near the trash can outside the school, would surely know where the sea was. He didn't waste any time. He packed a pair of sunglasses, the straw hat his Aunt Hermione had given him for his birthday, a towel, and a map he had found on the ground when it fell out of a tourist's bag. He was sure it would help him find the way to the beach in case Litsa didn't know. On a beautiful cloudy morning, while everyone had already left for their work, Periklis sneaked away and found himself behind the not at all fragrant trash cans, with his bags ready waiting for Litsa. Litsa, faithful to her appointment, appeared well groomed and ready to enjoy her meal. "Hello, Litsa," Periklis said. "Oh well, my friend Thanasis," Litsa greeted him. Litsa would sometimes forget, as he had been diagnosed with forgetfulness, as he told others. However, her doctor had assured her that it would pass and wasn't all that important, as it didn't affect her knowledge but only her memory. Periklis knew this, so he didn't pay much attention to her mistake about his name. "Can you take me to the sea? You know where it is, right?" Periklis asked. "Well, of course I do," replied Litsa. "Great! Can you fly me there?" "I could, but it's probably better if someone else takes you." "Who do you mean then?" "Do you see that guy over there? That's Rico. The spot where he's standing is the departure point for flights to the sea. Rico runs a travel agency and is a trustworthy individual. You'll go and tell him that I'm sending you, and he'll put you on the next flight," Litsa explained. "Great, thank you! I'm off to catch my flight," Periklis exclaimed. "Have a great time and make sure to bring us a souvenir when you return from the jungle," Litsa replied. When Periklis arrived at the airport and had arranged everything with Rico, he started searching for the sign directing him to the flights to the sea. Once he secured his destination, he began running because he could see the helicopter ready to take off. At the last moment, he managed to grab onto its leg. For a brief moment, he dangled in the air, and when he reached for his sleeping backpack as he ascended, he slipped and fell. Luckily, he landed somewhat roughly on the golden-green back of a fly that had taken off shortly after them and was now beneath them. He wasn't discouraged at all. He was certain that he would also be headed to the same destination. All's well that ends well. Whee! Periklis cheered. Periklis enjoyed his flight while simultaneously glancing at the map to ensure they were on the right track. After a considerable amount of time, he thought to himself, we must have changed continents. But soon he noticed they were approaching their destination. There was a water, something resembling small trees poking out, plenty of flies, various kinds of beetles, mosquitoes, frogs, and various other insects and reptiles roaming around the area. We have arrived to the sea! The helpful insect that had been carrying him landed on a reed. Periklis prepared to descend when he felt a strong tug and then slipped with the fly into the stomach of a frog. Oh my, what a mess this was! But Periklis didn't give up. He wouldn't lose his vacation for anything. He struggled to swim through all the goo so he could reach the walls of the frog's stomach and hold on. When he finally succeeded, he began to give the frog some well-placed stings that made the little frog wince in pain. At that moment, the frog let out a loud croak, coughed, and spat him out onto a water lily. In his sorry state, Periklis thought it was essential to make his way to the shore. He grabbed a floating twig nearby and used it as an oar. He paddled for quite some time, but his boat wasn't going anywhere. He dipped his head into the water to see that the water lily was anchored to the bottom of the sea. He started pulling it, hoping it would come loose, but after a strong tug, he ended up in the water himself. He held onto the edge of the water lily, and a dried leaf with a ladybug on top floated by him. The ladybug looked at him, chuckled somewhat ironically, and immediately flew away. Periklis wasted no time and swam toward the leaf. He lay down on it to rest, and a gentle breeze accompanied by a strong, unpleasant odor pushed him toward to the shore. That was it. He felt a great sense of relief. He had managed just fine. He found a nice spot next to the dried bush. He spread his wet towel on the mud, placed a small stone on it to prevent it from flying away in the wind, and then put on his sunglasses for sunbathing. Of course, the weather was about to turn rainy, but Periklis remained optimistic until he was hit by a massive raindrop right on his head. He put on his little hat, took cover under the bush, and waited for the sweet summer rain to stop. The sun came out again. Now he would enjoy his vacation by the sea. Mosquitoes buzzed melodically around him, zzz here, zzz there, creating the perfect atmosphere for him to take a nap. Just before closing his eyes, Periklis was awakened by the mischievous ladybug that had earlier seen on the cliff carrying him. It lightly tapped his leg and seemed to apologize for its carelessness. However, in the next moment, Periklis realized that the sly ladybug had stolen his hat and was ready to fly away with it. Hey, that's my hat! I'm Labrini, not Hey. I don't care. Why did you put my hat on, please? Oh, is it yours? I didn't know. Here, take it back. I'll find another one. Goodbye, and ride us back. You're all so annoying here by the sea. By the sea? Ha ha! Labrini burst into laughter and continued for quite a while. Perry, say pepper. This is a swamp, you silly little ant. I'm leaving right now for the sea. Goodbye. I'm Periklis if you want to know. Wait, what did you say? Swamp? Quickly, he pulled out the map from his bag to double check. You are holding it upside down, Labrini chimed in again. "Will you take me with you?" he asked. "I'll take you, but I will be the one wearing the hat the whole way," she replied. "Agreed." And so they flew together to the sea, where Periklis had the best vacation of his life. The end.